Yeah, they're all, yeah.
All right, let's start.
They're very lucky. All right, I'm coming. The meeting tonight is for the conduct of town business by the town board. The public is invited to participate at the items marked on the agenda, public comment. During that segment of the meeting, if you have a question or comment for the supervisor, please raise your hand and wait to be acknowledged. Please state your full name and limit your remarks to 3 minutes. Thank you for your anticipated cooperation.
Thank you. Again, this is July 24th, 2023 meeting of the end of the month. Just so we know, we have a public hearing still ongoing for local law of the year 2023, amending zoning map for the town of Marlborough for the certain real properties located off Dock Road in the town of Marlborough to establish uniform zoning to the R district. And this would be creating the whole uniform properties into R. And that public hearing is now still open. And I will ask if anybody has any public comments any further at this time. This is the time to come up and make your grievances. Going once, going twice. Okay, since there is no other further public comments, I'm going to make a motion to close the public hearing for local law of the year 2023, amending the zoning map for the town of Marlborough for certain real properties located off Dock Road in the town of Marlborough to establish uniform zoning to the R district. I need a second.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Yes.
Aye. Okay. Ron, you want to say anything after your long trip up here for that?
Yeah.
But if anybody, Rosemary and Jerry, this is Ron Cypress. He's the developer for Layton Properties. And we appreciate that you came all this way, and we appreciate you investing in our town. And you know I'm going to help you in any way possible. And anybody on this board, I'm sure, will do the same. So I know there's still a long road ahead of us. But this is the first step. So this is a big step because you couldn't do anything without this step. So we have to talk further about some other changes we have to make, right? And then we'll move forward on some of those things too. So, all right. Site plans. Yep. All right, Ron. If you need anything, if not, you're dismissed if you could stay. But again, so public hearing is closed. So tonight's a workshop meeting, and I'm going to say let's call Pledge for Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing for a moment of silence for all the men and women who sacrificed their lives to give us the opportunity to serve our country, our state, and our town. Thank you. Thank them. All right. I need a motion to approve the agenda, please.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Yes.
Aye, so moved. Motion to approve the minutes from the July 10th, 2023 Town Board meeting.
Make a motion to approve the minutes from July 10th town board meeting.
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye, so moved. Authorize payment of the bills of the amount of $739,534.86. I need an authorization to pay our bills.
I make a motion to make authorization of payment of bills.
I'll second.
All in favor? Yes. Aye. All right. Supervisor's update. For July 2023, same as last month, I had multiple meetings with town engineer Phil Bell to discuss bond documents with Arch Insurance and WND General Construction for the new community center project. Had multiple conversations with Katie McFadden, senior claims examiner for Arch Insurance, to discuss process, how the surety company will handle completing the project. And we are moving forward, getting closer to a resolution. So had multiple conversations with Magui Hauser and Etzel Engineering, Mike Lemmerts and James Zakara to discuss the Old Indian Trail geological and survey estimates. They did get us a second estimate on both. Now we're just trying to work out, deciding if we can combine the two different items with one company and getting a better price. I do have a meeting with the Quicks tomorrow at 10 o'clock. This is the only update I have at this point, and then we have to decide as a board what we're going to do here. So, attended the July 7th and the 21st Concert in the Parks series held by the Town Recreation Committee. Unbelievable attendance we've been having, except we did have a little rain out on the second one, but the last two have been unbelievably attended, and it's really great to see the rec committee bringing back that community spirit, so thanks to them. Held our quarterly heads of department meeting to go over what we accomplished in the second quarter and what I would like to see completed in the third quarter of this year. Met with CertaPro sales representative Jay Sanor to go over the completion of the painting at the pavilion of Cluett-Shantz Park, which has been done. Had a Zoom meeting with the DEC representatives, Dan Miller, Angela Schmitz, Arkia McCarthy, with our landing committee members, Deputy Supervisor Appler, Rosemary Wine, to discuss the permitting process for the north repair, the kayak launch, and the possibility of putting a mooring anchoring docking system, right? So thank you to Rosemary out there for, of course, doing most of the paperwork for all this stuff, but also reaching out to the DEC and getting this meeting set up. It went very well, so I think we have a plan on moving forward. And also I didn't put on this was Brandy Nelson was also involved in this conversation. So we're moving forward on that. Met with School District Assistant Superintendent Mike Picasso to discuss putting a new HD camera system in our meeting room and recording system. That's for here. The school district and myself are looking at upgrading this system we use. So we're looking into that. I met with Councilman Zambito and Water Superintendent Maggio at the transfer station to discuss the cap repairs that are needed at the landfill. This is in preparation. Nexamp, who's building the solar farm at the transfer station. So we've got to have some follow-up meetings on that, but I do need to get this done pretty much ASAP if we can, but we'll get it done. Met with the kayak committee, Deputy Supervisor Appler, Rosemary and Jerry Wine, Superintendent Alonji, Gary Lazaroff, to finalize the adaptive kayak launch location at the Milton Landing. We'll have a little presentation on that tonight. But again, thank you guys for everything you've done with that. And we did finally decide on a location, so I think we're all set. Had a meeting with the PBA Union Negotiating Committee with Councilman Molinelli and Chief Kokoza to discuss union contract extensions. We're going to have another one this past month, early this month, I should say, and we had to postpone it to next month. So we're getting close to wrapping this up, I hope. So we'll see. Had multiple discussions with John and Cynthia Behan to discuss putting out the bid the Milton Landing Park project. Looking at doing fencing, blacktopping, landscaping, and walkways, things we can do without a CSX agreement, and being out of their right-of-way. We're also discussing with the county about moving Dock Road connection to Old Indian Trail. And just so the board's updated, you know, Dock Road comes down, you have that kind of sharp turn that goes on to Old Indian Trail. Cynthia and John Beham also came up with a plan of actually instead of having that turn actually come to a stop sign there and actually making a right-hand turn. So instead of having that curve and having all that extra work that might need to be done, we could actually maybe do it in a less expensive way and a more practical way and staying out of CSX right away. So I thought that was a pretty good idea too. So, and had multiple discussions with Ron Cypress and Layton Properties on the planned Dock Road development in the hamlet of Marlborough. And Ron shows up tonight, so there you go. So that was my report for July, a little shorter than normal, but you know, it's summertime, so everybody's doing stuff. So, all right, so presentations. I have a little something. So as part of our requirement for our kayak launch, we actually have to do an open public meeting. If anybody had questions, we had it on our agenda, so the public was well aware we were going to have this presentation if they wanted to ask questions about it and give feedback. So a lot of the board members know what we're kind of doing down here, but if everybody doesn't know, we have a Hudson River Estuary grant of $40,000, and we've been going back and forth now probably for about a year about design and location and who's going to do it. We met with some different companies, but Board Safe seemed to be the best fit for us. The gentleman that we're working with, Tom, wait an hour. Walker was, he was very good in explaining everything, how it was going to work. They came in at a reasonable price. They worked with us, and they will be working with us in installing it. They're going to show our guys how to put it in and take it out yearly, because this has to come in and out every year. Our highway department's going to, they're going to pour this pad. It's probably going to be much bigger than this pad, but so this is just kind of like a little look at what ours is sort of going to look like. It's just going to be a straight gangway straight down. Then you get into the kayak down here. Here's some of the schematics of it. Here's how you, so how people come in, they come in and there's like a step down here in this area that they could sit on, and they slide themselves down, and they could get in their kayaks, and they have these straps that they could hold on to pull themselves over. And again, it doesn't have to be just for ADA compliant people that are going to kayak. Anybody obviously can use this for a kayak launch, but when we apply for the grant, this is an ADA compliant kayak launch, and that way it could be used for either or, and I think it's a really great idea. Of course, we have to do some more work, not just for by putting that in. We're going to have to do some more work at the landing itself as far as having access for people in wheelchair accessibility. That's part of the plan that we're doing with John Beeham and Cynthia Beeham. There's going to be some elevation work that has to be worked out to get all these things connected, meaning the North Pier, the South Pier, and the kayak launch, and then and getting across the train station tracks. So they are actually working on that now with a group of people that actually do that work for us. So once we get all the elevations in place, then our guys could actually put all the pads in, and we're all correct, because we don't want to do something and then we messed up and then later we got to rip it all back out. So again, this is just some other designs from Board Safe. They're a very big outfit. They do a lot of work. They also are going to work with Brandy, hopefully with Brandy, on getting us the ADA compliant ramp that's going to go to the new North Pier that's being rebuilt. Obviously, they're going to have to bid on it, but we're hoping that Tom wins that bid. So that's just a very little small overview of what's going on. I said this is like basically a public hearing for the kayak launch. If anybody has any further questions, they can ask them. Rosemary is my in-house expert who is sitting in the audience. And since there's not a lot of people here, I assume there's not many questions unless Ron has a question out there. All right, so I'm going to say that's our presentation for tonight for Board Safe. And next meeting, I shall have an authorization by the board for the prices that this is costing, and hopefully everybody is good with it. I think you are, because we've talked about this quite a bit, and plus it's $40,000 in grant money, so I believe the bill's around 50 plus or minus 1,000, so is what it's going to come in at. So it's going to cost us it'll come out of our Parks and Rec funds, probably about $10,000. And we have to do a match of percentage-wise anyway, so it's part of the grant, right? And we have to do in-house.
You could use all the hours that we live and logging of the meetings. We took
Yep.
this before we had our grant. You do time sheets, and they'll take that and you could probably use it up just with the town board.
Yeah. I think we're not going to have any issue by the amount of money we have to put towards it and the in-house work the highway department's going to be doing. The hours that they're going to put in is going to fully take care of the requirements of the grant. So, you know, it's going to be a great thing for the public and at a very low cost overall for the public in general. Other topics on the workshop topic tonight was going to be the rec fees for the Main Street Street project with Bob Pollock. They had canceled today. They're not going to come in until a month from now. He wants to have Dan Rusk, who is his attorney, be here with him in case they come up with any suggestions for the board. I had told Bob I have no problem with him coming here. Bob is wants to talk to us about his rec fees. Everybody that doesn't know, our rec fees, it's $2,000 per unit. You hear that, Ron? So it is $2,000 per unit. A unit is defined as a basically it could be a one bedroom or more that is occupied for housing. If you look in our code, it's a little more defined than that, but basically that's what it is. So he's protesting. He has 31 units. He's got to pay $62,000, and I understand that, but that was part of the planning board process and part of his approvals. So anyway, that'll be in a month.
So can I say something about that?
Yes, you can.
So if you look at some surrounding communities, I'll give you an example, New Paltz,
Yep,
they're 5,500 a unit.
yep.
So we'll make sure we mention that to him.
Oh, he
He could do this
knows.
project there, and he'd be going through a lot more red tape than he is here. So,
Yeah, we are not out of line with anybody within the surrounding areas. Most are anywhere from 2,000, some are 1,000, some are 3,000, some are 5,000. So, you know, we're right in that mix, and that's usually how when we look at our fee schedules, we look at the surrounding towns and we try to come somewhere in the middle. So we're not crazy, but we're realistic. And, you know, what people don't understand is these rec fees are there because if you're bringing in more people into your community, you're using your parks and recreational activities more, and there's more wear and tear in those facilities, which means we have to maintain them more. So it's not like we're just collecting money just to collect money. We're collecting money to maintain our facilities. So, you know, that's why we collect them. So, but very good point, Dave. Okay, I got a few correspondence. So on our, it's not on here, is it? I didn't pass it, new business. Why did I go right to the workshop? I completely went past the new business tonight. So yeah, so on the new business for tonight, we had the Roadway Excavation Quality Assurance Act. So I got a letter here that I'm going to read quick that I want to ask the board that I could send up to Kathy Hochul, our governor, in support of our unions around the community in our county. And let me just read it. So this is to Dear Governor Hochul, I am writing to request your support for and prompt signing of A5608-S4887 legislation requiring utility company contractors and subcontractors to pay prevailing wage when a permit is issued to cut an open or public street. This legislation, if enacted, will benefit countless workers, small business owners, and ratepayers in the town and county in which I have the privilege of representing. The Roadway Excavation Quality Assurance Act, REQAA, will be an economic driver for a region, serving the outlift workers, infuse dollars into local businesses, and add the area's tax base. When workers earn more, they spend that income in the community, helping to ensure local businesses thrive. Prevailing wage also prompt the use of local workers and contractors, as well as utilization of apprenticeship and training programs, further helping to boost prosperity in the region. New York City should not be the only region in the state that benefits from prevailing wage requirements from underground utility excavation. All workers, taxpayers, and small business owners should be able to enjoy the economic prosperity that prevailing wage requirements generate. The REQAA will also benefit ratepayers by helping to increase utility service reliability throughout quicker and more efficient repairs. Prevailing wage promote the use of trained and skilled workers, ensuring repairs and critical utility infrastructure are performed on time and on budget. Additionally, utility excavation, worker is inherently dangerous, making the need for trained workforce essential for the safety and workers of the general public. So I'd like to send this letter on behalf of the town of Marlborough and the town board to the governor, Kathy Hochul, and I hope I got your support. So I just need a motion that I could sign this and send this up to
I'll
the...
make the motion to send the letter to the governor.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Yes.
Aye. Thank you, guys. Okay. I just want to point out that I got a letter from the county of Ulster County, and it says, Dear Supervisor Corcoran, I'm pleased to inform you that after a careful review, the town application for the Ulster County Parks and Recreation Grant has been awarded an amount of $100,000. We look forward to working with the town on this project, and staff members of the Recovery and Reliance ARP Division will be in contact to review steps. So we got our $100,000 grant. Rosemary worked on this with Sheridan, so very good. And thanks to Legislator Corcoran, who actually pushed for this grant to actually be even put out there by the county, and then worked with them to help us get this grant. So good news all around. I got another one here for dear Honorable Clerk and Town Board. The Ulster County Legislator is requesting to reserve the Milton train station on Wednesday, November 15th, 2023, for the purpose of holding a public hearing on the 2024 County Executive Recommended Budget. Please consider this request and reserve the space and waive the fee for the purpose of holding the public hearing. Thank you for your consideration, Victor Faballo, Clerk of the Legislature. So I need a motion to allow the county legislator and basically the executive office to utilize the train station on November 15th and to waive the fees. I just need a motion.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye. So moved. So that's good. So that's it. Okay, also on new business, I sent you guys a email for Youngworth Law, new attorney. I just need a motion by the town to add Youngworth Law to our available attorneys to use. They will be representing us for the PBA negotiations and PBA issues. Youngworth used to work for the law firm we used prior to that, and she went out on her own with David Wise, who used to be the previous attorney we used for PPA negotiations. So they teamed up and they created their own firm, and I think it's wise on our part to keep the consistency, and I'm asking for the board to approve Youngworth Law as one of our town attorneys.
I'll make that motion to add the additional law firm to the board.
I need a second.
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye, so moved. Thank you. All right. Now, anybody with public comments? Anybody? Okay, then we get right to what Ron's waiting for. Resolution 13, item 13, Resolution 75, to adopt a local law of the year 2023, a local law amending the zoning map of the town of Marlborough to change the zoning district designation of tax parcel number 109.1-3-13, 109.1-3-14.200, 109.1-3-15, 108.4-3-29.10 from their existing designation to the R district. Okay. Supervisor Corcoran proposes the following, whereas a local law was introduced to be known as Local Law Number 4 of 2023, entitled the Local Law Amending the Zoning Map of the Town of Marlborough to change the zoning district designation of the tax parcel numbers, and I just read those, I'm not going to read them again, it's there for everybody to see, from their existing designation to the R district. Whereas a public hearing in relation to said local law was held on June 26, 2023, and left open for comments until July 24, 2023 at 7 p.m. prevailing time. And whereas notice of said public hearing was given pursuant to the terms and provision of municipal home rule law of the state of New York, and whereas said local law has been on the desk of the members of the town Marlborough for at least 7 days, exclusive of Sunday, whereas the local law involves the rezoning of certain properties located in the Marlborough Hamlet within the Route 9W corridor to establish a uniform zoning of the aforementioned parcels from the R1 to NI districts to the R district. And whereas the proposed rezoning of the property will allow further development of the parcels, and whereas any such further development of the property would require site plan approval, and if applicable, a special use permit from the planning board, which as a condition of approvals could impose measures to ensure that the effects of traffic, lighting, noise, dust are mitigated and the impacts of neighboring uses are reduced, and the site is developed in a manner which is consistent with the surrounding use and sensitive to the existing neighborhood. And whereas these amendments are consistent with the goals, objectives, and recommendations of the Town of Marlborough Comprehensive Plan, and whereas on April 24th, 2023, the Town Board declared its intent to act as lead agency and referred the petition to the Town of Marlborough Planning Board in accordance to the Town Code Section 105-49, and whereas the Town Board received a response from the Town Marlborough Planning Board dated May 24th, 2023, recommending the approval of the zoning map amendment. And whereas on June 13th, 2023, the Town Board referred the petition to the Ulster County Planning Board in accordance with the General Municipal Law 23-M, and now therefore be resolved, the following local law is hereby enacted. Section 1. The zoning map of the Town of Marlborough established within Section 155(8) of the Town Code is amended to change the district designation of tax parcel 109.1-3-13, 109.1-3-14.200, 109.1-3-15, 108.4-3-29.10, the property from its current zoning district designation to R residential district. 2, if any section of this local law shall be held unconstitutional, invalid, or ineffective, the whole or in part, such determination shall not be deemed to affect, impair, or invalidate the remainder of this law. Section 3, the local law shall be effective upon filing it with the Secretary of State in accordance with the Municipal Home Rule Law. Resolved that the town clerk shall file the certified original of this local law in the office of the town clerk and one certified copy in the office of the Secretary of State of New York, such certified copy to have attached thereto a certificate that contains the correct text of an enactment of this local law. The foregone resolution was duly put to a vote, which resolved as follows.
Supervisor Corcoran?
Yes.
Councilman Coppi?
Yes.
Councilman Zambito?
Yes.
Yes. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Ron. And you are passed. And Colleen will get that paperwork up and put out tomorrow. So, without further ado, I am asking Manny for item number 14.
Okay, making a motion to adjourn.
I need a second.
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye. So moved. Thanks, everybody.